Hi, this is Kate. Welcome to In the Studio with Kate. It's week 37. I'm going to talk a lot about sketching today and a few other things. I have talked about previously that I was intrigued with botanical sketching. So I have this book to actually work through. It starts out with really basic drawing things, which there are some things I've never done, so I worked on this circle and I worked on this grayscale piece, which was really kind of fun. And then I drew these little other shapes, the cup, the cone, and the cylinder. Next thing I'll move on to do an apple, but that's all I've done for that this week. My art journal group is still really into sketching, so that's what we've been doing. I did this sketch on Sunday at church. That's my friend Annette, and she was just giving a talk, so that's a picture of her. And that sketchbook is pretty much full, so I started using this one. It's by Handbook, and it's a watercolor sketchbook. And this leads me to talk about pens as well, because I got this new pen, this Fude, I guess that's what it's called, Fude Manon, which has the bent nib. Let's see if I can hold it up so you can see how that bent nib, it gives you 4 different lines, which is really nice. The only thing is that it comes with water-soluble ink in it. So I'm waiting to get, I've since then ordered a converter so I can get the right kind of ink, because I went with my friend Elaine to the outdoor concert in Idaho Falls this week. And so this is the first one I drew. And once I put the color on, it starts smearing everywhere. So that's when I found out about it. So I was sort of annoyed. This next one here, I started using colored pencil. I'm still working on it. And then this last one here, I haven't done any coloring in. But it was a good experiment of trying to draw people in an outdoor venue. These next 2 sketches are just ink so far. I will probably add some, maybe either watercolor or some more details or something. But I went down to a place on the river that I like to go to and just sketched what I saw, and there was this guy fishing. And then here, the kids were grabbing rocks and throwing them in the water. So that was kind of fun, but there, needless to say, our work in progress is. And then this picture is a picture I tried drawing my friend Lynn. So anyways, that's the thing. But first time I ever used watercolor for a face, and I had a lot to learn. But anyways, it was fun to do. First I ever did teeth too, because I usually like to avoid doing teeth. I don't know. If you don't look at the original, it doesn't look too bad. I really dealt with the inner critic a lot with that one. So let's see. And okay, that's all the sketching with the group. I also wanted to talk about, remember last week I think I talked about this pen, the carbon platinum pen. Well, I discovered that the ink that they send with it is not, again, waterproof. So, but then I realized that I had a pack of cartridges, and so now I'm using the platinum carbon ink. I completely forgot that these came with a pen, so I used that the other day and it works fabulous. Or I used it on Lynn's portrait, and none of the watercolor smeared, so I was very delighted with that. I still too like those 2 pens, but I just get annoyed when I don't realize that the ink is not waterproof. I wanted to talk a little bit about my exploration with Picasso, which is sort of interesting for me, at least. I want to show you something which I should have gotten ready first, but I'm trying to figure where it all began. I did take this working with the master's course with Jean Oliver a couple of years ago. I think that's, no, this is the wrong book. And Picasso was one of the artists, so I did do a couple pieces following his, it's probably in one of these mysterious journals that I don't remember where it is. But anyways, I did that little bit of artwork, and then I found out that National Geographic was doing it's not in this one either. It's in some mysterious journal, probably on my shelf somewhere, which we'll just not worry about that. But, and National Geographic did a 8-10 part series about his life, which was really fascinating. And what fascinated me most was Françoise Gillot, and I may be destroying her name, I don't speak French. She was one of the women that he lived with and had children with. And she was definitely a woman out of her time, in a sense. She's the only one that actually left him. She just kind of stood up for herself. She was also a painter, so it really intrigued me hearing about her story, because not only did she live with Picasso, have 2 children by him, she married another man, divorced him, and then she married Jonas Salk, of all people, the scientist. So I thought, this woman's interesting, you know? So I had been reading this book, and it's called Life Picasso, and so it's Picasso's life from her when she came on the scene until when she left. So very fascinating. Today I found out that Amazon has a movie where Anthony Hopkins plays Picasso. So I'm probably going to rent that and watch it, because I feel like I'm getting absorbed in his world. And it's interesting because it's not like I necessarily like his work, the cubism and the distorted figures. I do like some of his earlier work, which I'm going to do Ivy Newport's class on the blue period that he did. So I feel like I'm immersing him and Francois, because I'm also going to read her biography, because I want to see what happened after she left Picasso to the rest of her life. She's actually still alive. She's still a painter, I believe. So I think she's pretty fascinating. And so is one of the things in watching the TV series and reading the book is seeing how he worked, you know? I mean, like, he would get up not early, late, kind of, you know, and he would have all these friends come over and they would visit him and stuff, and then they would all leave, and then he would work like till 2, 3 in the morning, you know, and then it would start at the next day, you know. And so of course he always has a woman to support him, to do everything for him. But I'm just fascinated to see how he got from where he went to where he's going, and seeing how to explore that, and learning about his friendship with Matisse. And, you know, I'm really interested in looking at Matisse as well. So I kind of feel like I'm going through a period where I'm going to be studying some of the great painters that interest me. I think that I've taken a couple little classes where they go a different artist every month or something, and they just don't seem like they get into detail. I mean, it's been kind of like, oh, here's a few facts about this painter, or learn about him, and here's what some of his paintings are, and here's what you can do, you know, and here's an example of what I did. That's kind of like the gist of those. But I'm just thinking, you know, they just touch the surface. I feel like I need to go really a whole lot deeper. And so here I'm finding, I'm doing multimedia, I'm reading books, I have done a little bit of the painting before this. I've got a class I'm going to incorporate, you know, just to really learn more about this person, and what made him tick? What was he like as an artist? You know, some of these old artists, they were just really nasty to women, and that kind of really is evident that of the times they lived in. But I try to overlook that and look at the artistic part of them and see what I can learn from them. So that's kind of what my focus, I think, is going to be for a while. Yesterday, the Ignite program ended. So I finished my stint as a peer mentor. So I've had a container to hold that for 2 years now. So my intention is to keep that container open, but put art study into it. So I'll either be painting or I'll be doing this, studying of a master, exploring where that's going to take me. So that's what I'm planning on doing with the time that I used to use, say, for work with Ignite. The other thing that's happening is the Ignite Spotlight was released this morning, or launched this morning, whatever you want to say it. And what it is all the students in Ignite created a course, and all those courses are free, and they're available on Dirty Footprint Studios website. So I'll put a link to how you can go download that ebook of, I can't remember how many students did it. If there's 11, I'm guessing 11. I might be wrong. But, and they're a wide variety, from a photographer to art journaling to painting. And so they're really great. We had a wonderful class this year, and they created some just fabulous works. So take advantage of that opportunity and get some freebies. And that's about all I've got to talk about today. I hope that you are out in your studios creating beautiful work, or you're outside doing it. I know I love going outside and doing art if the weather cooperates. A lot of times here it's either too hot or it's too windy. But it really is a nice change of pace to be able to go do that. So if you're doing anything fun, I'd love to hear about it. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you're doing this summer, or what your goals are, or what's going to excite you about creating art this summer. Until next week, bye.